Okay. All right. Let's get this out of the way. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, wait. We got to get a social pic. Don't forget it.
Oh my God. Social pic. Don't forget it.
Okay. The most awkward three people you've ever seen ever.
That's us.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Whopper, 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 whopper.
What is up, party people? Welcome to Saturdays and Seltzers. My name is Kendra Middleton, and this week I am joined by Haley again and intern Tyler. So we have the whole squad here this week. This is going to be probably one of the quickest episodes of this show ever because it's Super Bowl week. I'm really not into the Super Bowl this year. I don't have a ton to say, but we are going to start a new segment where we grade each NFL team's season from last season or this season, however you want to look at it. But per usual, we are going to start with our HLH, which is our high and our low and our hero of the last week. So something good that happened to you, something not so good that happened to you, and then something unexpectedly good that happened to you. Also, hi, Haley. Hi, Tyler. That was a very long-winded intro. But Haley, what is your high to start it off? I assume that that's the best way of how are you?
I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to say my high is that yesterday the three of us got food in the North End, and I haven't been in the North End of Boston in so long, and it's just cream of the crop Italian food. So it was literally so good, like the best meal I've had in forever. I've been moving over the last week, so I haven't had the chance to sit down and eat a meal since I don't even know. So that was bomb. It's definitely the high of the week for me.
Okay, so we went to Trattoria Al Panino, which is like my go-to place because I've never had a bad meal there. But I will say they're like known for their chicken parm. And I have to say, I have loved everything I've ever had there, but the chicken parm was mid. And I'm going to say it with my whole chest. Mid.
She's spilling tea on the pod this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Mid. Tyler, would you agree or disagree that it was mid or not?
So I haven't had too many chicken parms in my day, but it wasn't amazing. I'm not gonna say it was bad.
No, it wasn't bad, but it was mid.
But yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. All right, we're on the same page. My high is that I'm going to be an astrology thought for a second, and I don't even care. All planets are direct currently, and thank God the full moon in Leo is over because I had such a rough week last week. Me and Steph were like dying talking on the show about how just like last week was chaotic as fuck, and I feel like it was chaotic as fuck for everyone. So I'm going to be an astrology thought and say it last week fucking sucked, and I'm glad it's over, and that's my high. Boom. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Shout out Steph for coming on last week and fighting in the trenches with you online. I'm sure we'll get to it, but
yeah,
we love you, Steph. We appreciate you.
I have it in the comments later to talk about. Low, Haley, what was your low?
Okay, so I have my low as like when I think about like the show at the beginning of the day, like I go through, okay, high, low, hero. I have my low as the NBA trade deadline because anyone that knows me knows like, I'm a sucker for the NBA and I'm a sucker for memes. And there were talks about potentially getting Mo Bamba to Boston. And I was like, can you imagine? Because just that song is so quintessential to our college experience. I feel like just my whole world would kind of finally like come to fruition, and it just didn't happen. He ended up going with the Lakers, which is whatever, and we can talk about that later. But my new low, that's not my low anymore. I have a apparatus that I use to do recreational activities that is glass that I broke about 5 minutes ago and sliced my hand open.
Is that why you went off camera?
No, that was right before we jumped on the call.
Oh my God.
So it literally got stuck and I couldn't pull it out. So I had to, it actually snapped and sliced my finger open.
Can we see it? I want to see it. If you don't like blood, probably close your eyes.
Oh my God. No. And the thing is, if you don't like blood, it's really whatever, because it's literally the smallest cut ever. Cause I'm so over dramatic.
Well, let me see it.
It's literally a paper cut. Stop.
I've actually cut my finger off before and I had to have it sewn back on twice.
So it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Small cuts are the worst though. But I have cut my finger off. I think you can see the scar right there.
I have a
The
scar on
tippy
my
top.
middle one from trying to open a bottle of wine with a opened pair of scissors when I was a freshman in college and I slipped on the blade.
These are the scissors I cut him off with. RIP. I was cutting a pair of jeans and stabbed through my entire finger. Anyways, my low was that we had like negative 40-degree weather last week and like broke records for how cold it was. But I have a new low, and it's
we're just thriving with the lows.
Literally right before I got on the show, I decided to self tan because, you know, if you're a girl, you self tan on Thursdays. Thursday is fucking self tan day because then you're tan for Friday night, Saturday. Sorry, the hiccups. And Sunday, it's just the thing in the girl world. Okay. It is what it is. And I ordered a new self tan because it had really good reviews. And it is so cool toned. It's like one of the like blue cool toned self tans. And I am very warm tone. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It does not match my foundation. It does not match my body. I am like a gray alien under this. And I'm really worried about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, honestly, like that is one of the most tragic things that can happen to you. And the thing is, when you're self tanning, you've already started, so
Yeah.
it is too late.
Mhm.
Like when you have already gotten the vibe going. I'm still an advocate. I'm a big suntan city girl myself.
Love suntan city.
Just because I'm low effort and I am cool tone, and it's like more cool tone. I feel like their
Love
formula.
suntan city.
When I was when I was in high school, we had like the lady in town that we would go to, and like literally you went to her house and she did the best job. I was obsessed with her. So I wish I had her still, but
I love
Suntan City will have to do.
I love suntan city. Yeah, so like I'm a little worried about it. And I also did not think planning my pedicure through because I'm getting a pedicure tomorrow, like early afternoon, and it's just gonna take off a lot of my tan. So that's just like a weird low, but it's a low. Anyways, what was your hero?
So my hero I saw today, this was on I work in corporate sponsorship. So I just ads in general online always stick out to me. I'm always constantly looking at ads and what's in the ad spaces. And I saw one today while I was doing some research for a segment we're going to talk about later. And it was a JBL speaker ad. And I'm going to make JBL my hero of the week, because I have had a couple of their products over the years and I really like them. I think that they're pretty good speakers. I know a lot of people can like pretty much get the same thing at Walmart, but I have always found that mine last really long and like are pretty waterproof, whatever. Anyway, plug over. They have an ad that says it's giving pro sound energy. And I was like, oh my God.
Okay.
That is everything. So I'm obsessed with JBL right now.
That's really good. I have a confession, and I didn't think I was going to have to come out about it this early. I fucking hate the Whopper commercial, but I love what has come of the Whopper commercial. Tyler's reaction was so good because Tyler and I just send Whopper remixes to each other all day, every day.
I am obsessed with the
Me
Whopper
too.
commercial.
The commercial.
It's literally all of my Instagram reel feed, my TikTok feed is just
when
Whopper,
Tyler's
Whopper,
on
Whopper.
social media, it's literally like videos and I get
It's
so
stuck
invested.
in
I'm
my
like, what
head
is it? And it just ends with the
24/7.
Whopper. It's so annoying.
Me too. It's so good though. I hate the commercial because I think it's because it comes on at like the most inconvenient times. Like I swear to God, Damar Hamlin was fucking dying and they cut to the Whopper commercial. Like,
Yeah.
And it just rings in my brain. I like anytime like the Jags were losing or the Bucks have had like blown a lead or something, I swear to God, I'm like triggered as fuck. And all I hear is Whopper, 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 Whopper. And I'm just like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out our buddy Connor because he literally, when that started months ago, on Sundays, we would just sit and watch and it would come on, whatever they would stream it on, it would be like the rotating commercial. And he would get up, grab the remote and change it. Literally every time. So it was just like, it's instilled for me to like leave the room or like change the channel immediately. And I feel like I'm getting rickrolled. It's very like triggering to that time of the internet. Like,
yes. You know what changed it for me? I sent this TikTok to both of you. And it's this one. It's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna have to put that on the SNS Instagram on Saturday. But like that is what changed my mind for me because I was not expecting to see that at all. I just like love anything SpongeBob. And then I saw that they remixed it and I was like, fine, fuck it. I'm balls to the wall. Like I'm all in on this.
So have you seen Northwest do that remix
No.
on TikTok? Because that's
No.
Kanye, obviously, at the beginning. So it's like I saw in the Daily Mail, it was like Northwest singing Kanye song on TikTok. And then I looked at the TikTok and then it ended up being a Whopper meme. And I was like, not Northwest Whopper memeing me.
Whopper memeing Kanye.
Yeah, Whopper rolling.
Do you even think that she knows that's her dad?
Oh yeah. We'll get into it later, but there's lots of tea going on in that realm, especially at their basketball games. So there's like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My hero is Trevor Lawrence's letter to Jacksonville. I am obsessed. Like, okay, a lot of people are going to hate this take. And I'm not saying this in like an I don't cheer for Trevor way and an I don't want the best for Trevor and I don't want the best for the Jags. This is just how I feel. If Trevor Lawrence were on any other team, I don't think I would like him. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I love that he's like evolved to having like more big dick energy, but like, I don't know. I love him as a person. I think he's a stand-up dude. I think he's a good dude. Just for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's the hair. I don't like it. Just if he were on any other team, I'm so sorry, Trevor. I'm so sorry, Jacksonville. I love Trevor Lawrence. I want him to be my quarterback forever. I think he's such a good dude. But I swear to God, if he were on any other team, I don't think I would like him.
Yeah, this is a bit of a sensitive subject for me because Nance is like a real big. Nance is my mom. She is a big Clemson fan. So she has been like very ride or die Trevor since the college days. But I kind of don't disagree with your take. I think for me, I think I would like him if he was at any other team, but I get what you're saying in that, like, if he was with the Raiders or like a team that like kind of just already has douchey energy, like I can see him being not so likable.
I don't know. I love him. I love like who he's become in this city. I'm so glad that he's like coming out of his shell and is like funny and like just a good dude. Like seeing him stand there and like shake everyone's hand at the end of the season was fucking awesome. I think he's a stand-up dude. There's something, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he is like, and we've seen him in person too, like at the end of the Titans game, like he's really, great with the fan base and the team.
He's a great dude. But like, I think it's because I didn't like him in college. I don't know. Like, do you remember that? I've talked about this before. Do you remember the video of him that went viral on like Barstool and Clemson Barstool back when Barstool was actually cool and blah? And it was like, did you just hear my asthma? I should have hit my inhaler before. I
did hear that. You're coming for my brand. You're coming for it's not easy being wheezy.
It ain't easy. Where he did like his like final semester project on like his hair.
Yes. It's
I
so
think
good.
That's just the way that I see him, and it's just ingrained into my brain. I don't know. I'm not saying this in a negative way. I literally worship Trevor Lawrence. I want him to be my quarterback until I fucking die or whatever. But I don't know. Oh, if he were on any other team, I don't know. Okay. Are we drinking anything abnormal? I'm drinking a cherry cola Zevia. These are the best ones, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna choose not to call you on that. We did get high noons because we were gonna be on, so
this is a seltzer. I don't want to hear it. I'm in my sober curious era. Okay,
you are so sober curious right now. I want to die.
Tea.
What flavor is that? Rank the your Zevia flavors.
Ooh, okay. Actually, can I rank my like health alternative drinks instead?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I think Zevia 1, Olipop 2, Poppy 3.
Wow. I don't know literally any of those.
I've only had Zevias, and the root beer Zevia is easily the best.
I do like the root beer one. The ginger ale one's really good too, but this is just like, it tastes like a diet cherry Coke and I kind of like it.
The Mountain Dew Zevia, I think, is also slept on. It tastes
I didn't
just
know
like
there was
Mountain
one.
Dew. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I was
just
a
like
big Mountain Dew
Mountain Dew.
go. Oh, I wish that I was like blissfully ignorant and didn't know that this shit was bad for you. Haley and her vape.
Stop! I literally in my hand. I'm like, should I rip it now or rip it later? Although I have to say, Tyler did send me a really good clip from the Barstool mini golf tour when one of them used their vape as a ball marker, and that is so good.
Oh man.
And both of you
Some
know
of their
that
shit
would
is-
be me.
some
You
of their
both
shit
know
is
that would
funny.
be me though.
Some of their shit is funny. I just hate their brand.
It
Okay.
wasn't even like it was. It's just that moment all in itself
know.
was just like that's me.
The
I've
Larsa
been there.
Pippen, the Larsa Pippen thing had me rolling the other day.
Well, we can get into that too because for those of you who don't know, I'm very big into the Real Housewives, and she is a Real Housewife of Miami, and there is just so much tea to unpack. But anyway, so that was your hero. We want to get a little bit into NFL stuff, yeah.
I
The
think
most
that
exciting game of the year.
I think that. Do we want to rank stuff first, or do we want to do Super Bowl first? I think we do Super Bowl first because I'm like really not into the Super Bowl this year.
You're literally about to throw up talking about it.
I love everyone. Dude, we know I'm a draft girl, but like this is like the first time I'm just not into that. I'm not that into the Super Bowl. I have been watching Love Island over Super Bowl coverage. I've only listened to like 4 interviews. I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't know. I'm not into it. I think it's because I'm not into like mainstream media at the moment as much as I used to be. Like, I don't want to sit there and listen to fucking Stephen A. Smith talk about the Super Bowl because I don't respect his opinion on the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I think especially from your perspective, right? Like when you are coming from a world where you cover not obviously like the Super Bowl, but events like that. I think you see it probably a different way, than other people do. I like it for the content that comes out of it. I've always thought, and I've thought more so in the last couple years, the overall media circus and just like the Monday, Tuesday, right after the Pro Bowl, it's just like ridiculous. Like let them practice, let them play. Like, it's just not, I agree. It's just, I'm kind of over it and I don't really find myself watching it, but obviously they have an audience enough to the point where they are able to do that coverage all day long. So, I mean, it's really big for sponsors too. That's the other thing I have to keep in mind. There's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money that goes into the Super Bowl and, where they're hosting it and the hotels they stay at and where they're doing these events is really important to those people too. So have to keep that in mind.
I just feel it's Thursday before the Super Bowl. I've heard it all by now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of want the game to be over and I never feel that way. I'm more excited for Rihanna than I am for the fucking Super Bowl. And I have never felt that way about a halftime show before.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Is there a way to bet on if she's going to drop a new song or not?
I don't know. What do you think, Tyler? Is that in the...
Probably
if Tyler doesn't know, Steph definitely knows. So we'll have to follow up with Steph on that question.
I would doubt that specific, but
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
She's
The
been-
Rihanna lore is
books. They
so
got
deep.
everything.
The Rihanna
She's been
lore is
teasing
really...
music for so long. And like, I don't know. She just had a baby. Like, do it to us, girl.
We have been waiting for a new Rihanna album since...
God, I was in like high school, I think.
It's been an embarrassingly long time. And have you seen the Lift Me Up memes at all?
No.
So Lift Me Up is the song she came out with on the new Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever album. Really moving, like obviously like a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. But it's kind of a bummer. Really good song, but kind of a bummer. So her fans are like, if she opens the Super Bowl with this song, I'm gonna walk out, like, because like our favorite Rihanna jams are like on the replay, like
what channel is the Super
Umbrella,
Bowl?
like
I want bed, but Wale is not coming out on that stage.
What channel is the Super Bowl on? Is it ESPN? If it's ESPN, they're definitely starting with the Wakanda
no,
flag.
it's not.
No, is
it
NBC this year?
ABC? I don't know. It's Fox
As long
next
as
year.
it's not Disney.
I know it's Fox
As long
next
as it's
year.
not Disney.
I don't think
We
it's
won't get the
ESPN
Wakanda
because they would have
Forever
shoved
song.
it down our throats by now.
Definitely.
It's definitely not ESPN.
I think it's ABC or NBC. But okay, who do we think she's bringing out? Because I think Drake for sure.
Oh yeah, it is on Fox. Everybody,
It is on Fox 2 years in a row.
So I think it's on Fox this year, not on Fox next year. Yes, not, or is it on Fox 3 years in a row?
No. Just the next 2 years, and then they do like the thing where they keep switching after that.
Yeah. So Fox this year, Fox next year, then they go back to normal.
I'm team Greg Olsen. I think he's fucking awesome.
We can talk about that too. I mean, that's looking like he's gonna have a whole nother season to get some commentary.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been commenting
before
on that
Brady comes in and scoops his job.
Well,
I don't know.
Do
we think that Brady is going to be a good broadcaster? Also,
I don't think it matters if he's good or not. He's going to be in that spot.
Well, I do, because here's what's going to happen.
At least not initially.
Greg Olsen deserves that job. But the thing is that it's going to be Brady's. And if Brady, not that I think Brady's ever going to be bad at anything, I think he's going to be great. But if he stinks, then it's like, well, shit, you're just going to rid of Greg Olsen and he's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is at this rate, I feel like every single week I'm watching a different team, like a different commentary team, in the sense that it's the same guys, but between the broadcasts and what games they're broadcasting, I feel like it's a pretty even rotation where you get to see a lot of different faces. So whether or not Greg Olsen stays with Fox or moves on to one of the literal 4 other channels that we can watch at this, and it's annoying in season, right? Because you're like, what fucking channel is this on? Like, I literally don't know. And now Prime for our favorite day of the week, Thursday Night Football. But yeah, I really would like to see Drake come out for Rihanna.
I'm trying to think of like who else realistically could come out.
They could do the throwback and have Eminem come out, but they already did that last year.
Chris Brown. It's not going to be Future.
No. Can you imagine?
No, I'm just saying, but like I'm trying to think of other people that it could be other than like Drake.
I think it would just be Drake. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm.
Or someone wild like Stevie Wonder, or like a really cool, like older artist that like she's inspired by.
Her song is it with Elton John? No, it's who's
Paul McCartney and
Paul McCartney and Kanye. It's not going to be those two. Like,
no, that's the thing when you make like music with such problematic people, and it's not of any fault of her own. It's just by circumstance. But yeah, I have no idea. I really hope she comes out. I think she's been teasing a new album. I really hope we get one. I am a big fan of Rihanna. I love her music. I'm hoping for an inclusive halftime performance because she's been really great with her, obviously, like her makeup line and her fashion label and being able to include, people plus size and color.
I don't even think that's ever even in question. I think that she's going to do it and she's going to do it big.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they come up with. She's a super creative mind, so I think it'll be a great halftime performance. I'm excited. I'm more excited for that than the Super Bowl, I think.
That being said, because it's going to be so inclusive, I think the Karens are going to come out immediately.
Oh, yeah. No, I already don't think that the Karens are big Rihanna fans.
Yeah.
So I doubt that they'll watch. I bet it'll be kind of like, I'm not watching, I'm gonna go in the other room situation. So
it would be kind of funny if ASAP came out.
Yeah, that would be cool. That is more likely than a couple other people that we've listed.
So we are partying at my house, the 3 of us, and Nancy, Haley's mom, and my friend Alexa and Celtics Pete Steve are going to be at my house for the Super Bowl. I guess we should probably figure out some kind of content to make. I don't know what it'll be, but we will do something. We'll brainstorm. I'm cheering for the Eagles, but I think the Chiefs are gonna win. Who are you guys cheering for? / who do you think is going to win?
This is how I feel about the Super Bowl.
You don't care?
As a Patriots fan, as a New England fan, I'm very not necessarily bored either, because here's the thing. This is a really like hot take. And I almost want to throw up even saying it, but I want Philly to win. Like I really want them to win.
Me too.
It is a popular take and a take that I agree with, that because we want Philly to win so bad, inevitably Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to win. obviously, as a New England fan, do I ever want to see Philly succeed? No. Love the city of Philadelphia. Their fan base booed Santa, so that's kind of wild. Are they the better team? I think so. I think that my best case scenario is one that I've heard, and I like if the Chiefs win it, but not because they deserve to, because the calls go their way, which they probably will, because they inevitably always do. So that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I hope Philly wins, because I don't ever want to see Mahomes win just because I'm not his fan. But
see, I decided to weigh it as like I don't know. I decided to like look at like who I liked more, but also it just came down to the fact that I'm still bitter about the Chiefs beating the Jags. I love Philly. I love Philly fans. I like love Philly teams. I have said that a million times. I'm cheering for the Eagles. My score prediction is that I think it's going to be 30-27 Chiefs win, but like I said, fly Eagles fly.
Yeah, I think I just need to kind of get over like the fact that I'm like ride or die New England all the time, and I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna ride with the Eagles.
Yeah,
I really want them to win. I really want them to win. Like really
Tyler,
bad.
are you going Eagles? Actually, let's do the sad cat parlay because like
I was gonna say I'm
do
also not pulling for either team. I'm pulling for the sad cat parlay.
Yeah,
and that is two or more Travis Kelce touchdowns and a Jalen Hurts touchdown anytime. That's all we need.
Okay.
All we need.
That's
I
all
think
we
it's
need.
plus like 950 or something like that. I'll post it sometime this weekend. But
I'm gonna put $1 on the sad cat parlay tomorrow at the casino.
That'll win you a solid $9 if it hits.
Yeah, maybe I'll put
Let's
$20
go.
down. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I've never actually sports bet in person.
I know. I think we need to do that all together.
So are we
This
meeting
weekend.
at the casino tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess we should.
Okay.
Okay. No, we'll talk. We'll talk offline.
All right. We're doing it. So go sad cat parlay. That being said, Tyler thought that we should do a grading NFL teams 2022 season. And we're going to start off with the sad cats. We kind of went back and forth over whether we thought we should do it by division. But I think that we've decided to do it by mascot. Is that our final decision? I think like we're going to group the cats together, maybe the birds together, people themed teams, and then like other
racist teams.
Oh my God. All right. So we have all of the sad cats. Some of them, I'm going to be up front. I don't think any cat themed team had a sad season.
It was a solid year for the Cats.
I think it was a great year for the Cats. I have everybody passing.
The outlier is the Carolina Panthers, but they turned it around. They turned it around after they got rid of Matt Rule.
Yeah. So we can talk about the Panthers first. I gave the Panthers a solid B. And my reasoning for doing so is one, I don't think you can have an A when you hire your head coach from the beginning of the season. Two, I think when you finish second in your division, after firing your head coach during the season, like regardless of the fact that it's the worst division in football, that's pretty impressive. Three, I think the defense is solid. My drawback here is that the quarterback position is still fucking atrocious. I think that they kind of had some momentum from the struggles that they had due to the head coaching situation and the quarterback position. I've looked at a lot of their mock drafts also, and I don't really see them trying to change the quarterback situation. And I don't think that you can ride with Sam Darnold and be successful. So I go solid B for those reasons.
Do you know what pick they have off the top of your head?
I want to say it's in the top like 10, or I want to say it's between 10 and 15, maybe.
Yeah, it's a bad year for
maybe 10.
I don't think
they pick 9th overall.
Okay. Yeah.
9th overall.
And I see them basically being like secondary or like a linebacker. So
I think that when you lose a weapon like Christian McCaffrey, like obviously like that's going to put a dent in your season, right? And I think that if they don't make up for that very obvious hole in their not only their team, but essentially their entire franchise. Like he was so huge for them, I feel like, and to see him succeed in such a way in San Francisco has got to be kind of a dig. So for morale purposes,
I think the biggest issue for me is that I don't trust them to build the talent that they got in return for Christian McCaffrey. That's why I think, and people love to be like, well, we're not going to know who wins or loses a trade. No, we will eventually. And honestly, I think that San Francisco, despite the fact that they're not playing in a Super Bowl, like they're going to have a shot to next year. After that, we'll see. And we'll see about the quarterback position and how that shakes out. But I don't know. I just don't trust them to like draft people that can replace him or will replace him or will be worth that.
Yeah, I mean, they have so it's their 9th overall and they have 7 picks in the draft for the 2023 draft. So, I mean, we'll see. Again, it's one of those things where, the Sad Cats, I feel like in general, almost all of them, I never know how they're going to draft. There are some teams I can feel really confident in, and there are some, and the Sad Cats included, they go in there and I never know what they're going to do. So
what's your grade on their season?
I'm going to give them a B-.
B-.
I'm going to give them a B-. Panthers, and maybe that's because if you follow me on Instagram, I did just reshare the video of Cam Newton and he is wearing a Panthers hat in that video, so like tough luck for them. So maybe that's why I'm still a little mad. But no, I think you make some really good points, but I definitely think that McCaffrey was a huge L for them this season, and I think, like you said, we can't tell you who won the trade. It's the end of the season. They made it farther than you. They won the trade.
Yeah. I mean, they were flirting with the playoffs there for a second, which felt like a weird reality, but it's just because that division was so bad.
Right. And that's the thing you have to keep in mind.
In the future, it's definitely the Falcons division, but just on this last season, I'm going solid B just because they finished second in their division. And for a long time, I thought that there was like no end in sight. Okay, Bengals, what is your grade for them?
Season, I give them an A. I give them an A-. Nope, I give them an A because I can't do that to Joe. I gotta give Joe A. A.
I'm going B+ because they definitely had a rough start to the season. I was kind of, for a hot second, I do remember the thought crossing my mind of being like, what if they go from being a team who was in the Super Bowl last year and had a lot of like most of their talent return and was like the worst in their division at the end of it. But I knew that wasn't like a serious reality, but it was something that crossed my mind at the beginning of the season. I won't lie to you. But I think that being one game away and like missing a Super Bowl when you have so much of your talent that's in question to return next year, and you're going to owe Joe Burrow a lot of money coming up, and you were honestly just like a play or two away from being there. Like I thought that game against Kansas City kind of got out of hand for a minute, and then they came back and I was just like, all right, like they could seriously make this happen. They could go to the Super Bowl and they have a very realistic shot, despite the amount of injuries that they had going down the stretch of the season, especially into the postseason. The offensive line was like beat the fuck up, and they played really well. And like through the stretch of like the rest of the postseason, I seriously thought that they might go back to the Super Bowl, but they have so much talent that's like up in the air for next year that I'm like, I can't give them an A, because if they made it to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, fine. Or even if they made it to the Super Bowl and lost, fine. That's an A of a season. I just think when you have so much in question for next year and you're going to owe Joe Burrow a lot of money, and the longer you wait to sign him a big contract, the more expensive he's going to get. I think that's why it feels like a B+ to me, because they didn't get the job done. And on top of that, what the fuck is this Joe Mixon situation? Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I know the charges were dropped, but like, that's just weird to me. I don't know. Sus.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really sus. The whole situation is really sus. I'm going to stick with my A rating. Just because, like you pointed out, that O-line, especially by like the playoffs, it felt like every single game, they were just absolutely decimated more and more and more. And I think their ability to keep it together and make it through to the conference championship, where I feel like other teams with those injuries would not be able to do so, really spoke to them as a team and their ability to adjust. Disappointed they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Honestly, I was really rooting for them. So I'm going to stick with an A or A minus. I don't know. I'm going to give myself an F for ability to remember the players on the team and who the hell we're talking about. But I'm going to give the Bengals.
We're going to
cut all of that. Literally
Tyler,
just
we're gonna cut
up to the point where I did this. Cut it. But Cincinnati Bengals, A or A minus.
I'm going to do that to you, but that was so bad. But the people will never know what we're talking about.
It was literally the most embarrassing moment of my life. I kind of want to just like jump out that window, to be honest.
I think that like the next time we have a dare or something, you have to wear that player's jersey of mine. So
yeah. Or we can do another. Well, I had a really good one with you one time when we watched Clemson. Remember we watched Clemson and I walked into the bar and I was like, everybody's favorite SEC team.
That was so good. No, honey, they're not the SEC.
You're like, no. You like see the giant.
Rip.
I was
It's okay. New Englanders don't get college sports.
Thank you guys. This is so
I'll
awesome.
die on that hill. All
yeah,
right.
no, we have no idea what the hell is going on ever.
Tyler, I know you might not have notes on the Lions, but if you do / don't, I need a grade for you on the season because you're our resident Lions fan.
I don't see how you could go any lower than A+.
A+, okay.
They blew season expectations completely out of the water.
1,000%. I agree with you.
Is it an A+ in the league or is it an A+ for the Lions?
I think it would, I mean, for the Lion or for the league, it would probably be closer to a B. But for the Lions, A+.
Sorry,
Okay. I'm hearing you. Okay. Well, can you give me your top reasons?
Daddy Campbell.
Yes,
one,
I have him on my
easily.
list as well.
I think Jared Goff really came into being a solid quarterback. Like we went from beginning of the season, we're probably going to get rid of somebody, go after someone in the draft. I don't think they go after a quarterback in the draft. No.
I don't either, especially because he's cheap. I have that in my notes.
Especially because he's cheap and especially because this is a weak quarterback class.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're going to roll with Jared Goff for
at
least
he earned
next
that job.
year, probably the next
He's a big head coach guy too, and I feel like him and Daddy Campbell definitely have a great
I don't have the numbers
growing relationship. So.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but his stats under like McVay and Campbell are like exponentially better than when he was under like Jeff Fisher and whoever else was his quarterback before.
Yeah, he plays really well in a system that he can gel in and
Mm-hmm.
obviously be able to communicate with. But I love Jared Goff. I was a big fan of him under Sean McVay too.
Yeah, I had him in my notes. Obviously, he went to a Super Bowl, which is like huge for any quarterback. But I agree with you. The Dan Campbell thing, I think he just needed some time to like find his footing in this league. And he like did later in this season. And I think he's definitely their dude. 2, like you said, Jared Goff, like he earned his keep there the same way that Daniel Jones did in New York for me. Like, and I think that they're going to be an affordable guy to keep around if they can get receivers other than Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is like definitely a draft pick that fucking worked out for them. If they can surround him with 1 or 2 more guys at that position, huge.
Hey, Jamison Williams, he's going to be huge.
Yes.
When he's like fully back and healthy and in the system.
Yes.
We saw him in like 2 games and he already looked incredible. I thought out of that draft class of wide receivers, I thought he had the highest ceiling of all of them.
Yeah, I think that he also is going to like need a little bit of time to find his footing. But if he turns into the guy that
it's a tough injury to come back from as a rookie. Yeah,
exactly. It kind of feels like Travis Etienne, but if he can do the same thing that Etienne did, then perfect. You've got another guy.
For sure.
On top of like, I had Amon-Ra St. Brown in my notes as well. That's like another huge plus for them. And I think that like the division that they were put in and to almost make the playoffs, it would have been fucking money for them to beat the Packers. But the place that they were put in against the Vikings and Aaron Rodgers, I think that that's huge to be able to make a name in that division for yourself. That being said, moving forward, Aaron Rodgers, obviously we'll get to like talk about his like hints at like maybe retiring or going somewhere else. That's also huge for him. And the fact that like the Bears seem to always be a shit show. And it's like the future of this division, I think, is the Vikings dependent. I mean, I don't think Kirk Cousins is like a long-term solution for them or anything. We're not Kirk apologists around here, but I do think that their team is good and their coaching's good. And I think that they're going to continue to be good in that division. But the Bears continue to seem to be a shit show, whether it's true that they're shopping Justin Fields or not. Either you're going to be getting rid of a quarterback that you've put into that system and getting another one in like CJ Stroud or whoever they decide to pick, trade back, whatever. That seems to be a dumpster fire.
That would be wild if they went from Fields to CJ.
It's a conversation.
From Buckeye to Buckeye.
Yeah, but it's a conversation, dude. And it's like, I don't think that Ryan Day has proven himself as like this quarterback whisperer. Like everyone has seemed to hype these guys up for him. And I wish that he was, because go Cats. But like, I don't but like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that whether they do that or not, the fact that there's even a conversation surrounding it has got to be tough for Justin Fields. And like, you can make that motivation as much as you want, but like, holy fuck, that sucks. And so I think that the future of that division is going to be the Lions and the Vikings. So I think that that's huge all around for them. I think it's an A. I don't say A+, but I think that I think if they made the postseason, that would have been an A+, but in that division, it's fucking tough. It's not like they were playing in the NFC South, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to have to give them an A- just because they didn't make the playoffs. But I remain really excited to see what they do for the draft. They have 4 picks in the first 60 overall picks. 2 in the first round, 2 in the second. And I think when you pick someone like Aiden Hutchinson, there's an immense amount of pressure on an organization to kind of do something with that and be able to integrate them into their system in a productive way where they can stick out. I feel like we've seen a lot of, not to trigger you, but like a lot of situations where, you know, maybe those first 10 picks didn't really end up super great in the way that they were hyped up to be, especially during draft time. So I think that if
I wish that we
Lions,
took Sauce.
Oh my God, we can talk about. I'm so deep in the
most people
Sauce
wish they
train
took
right now.
Sauce.
Oh my God, and I'm a Patriots fan. Do you
okay.
understand how much that means for me to say that? That's insane.
You both were with me at the draft, and you knew that I was an Aiden Hutchinson truther. And it's like, I did want Aiden Hutchinson, but I'm so glad that he's in Detroit, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I think he's a great fit there.
Even
I really
selfishly,
do.
you know what I'm
saying?
Even selfishly. So it's like, I would even let Trayvon fucking fall to take Sauce at 1 and keep Aiden in Detroit, just because I'm a team player, bitch.
So good. Yeah. I've been, and the thing with the Lions too, is I feel like they're one of those franchises that at the end of every season, no matter how shitty it is, you want to root for them. Like you want them to do well. Like you know, there's, you know, Cleveland and the Bagheads, whatever, but like Detroit, you remain very optimistic at the end of each season for the next season. And I think if they're able to draft well and really build up their offense in a way that you give Jared Goff a couple weapons, like you can make it to a Super Bowl. We've seen it happen before. So I think, you know, give it Aiden a couple hands on defense too. You have 4 picks in the first 60 picks. So we'll see what they can do, if they can integrate them as well. So.
And they've proved that they can draft, you know? So
right. That's my thing. Right.
Yeah. So I think honestly, they could win this division next season, regardless of if Aaron Rodgers comes back to Green Bay or not.
Yeah. I think your points about the division.
We've handled Aaron Rodgers. I'm not worried about Aaron.
We've handled Aaron Rodgers, bitch. Yeah.
Not the Detroit homeboy.
Talk your shit.
We've handled
your
him.
shit, Tyler.
We've sent him in. If he does retire, Lions, I'm 100% claiming, sent him into retirement.
The Lions sent Aaron Rodgers into retirement. Well, we can talk about this later because I do have this as a note. Last but not least, before we get into our closing stuff, we're going to talk about the Jags. This is the easiest answer for me, and I have to say A+, and I'm going to defend all of it because and I've said this all season, did we leave some fucking games on the board that we should have won? Yes. My thing that I want to talk about most is that I said at the beginning of the season that I was upset that it felt that they left those games on the table because Doug was prioritizing Trevor fitting into his system over winning winnable games. He wanted Trevor to buy in. He wanted the team to buy in. And if that took like going and like gunning for some things that you shouldn't have as a head coach and like trying to give your guys some confidence, fucking fine. Doug Peterson is one of those polarizing coaches where his balls are so big that it's like you either fucking love him when it works out and you hate him when it doesn't. And those were the moments where I hated him when it didn't. But it felt like the Ravens game is where the switch happened and Trevor Lawrence arrived. The team came out. It literally felt like a fucking coming out party for that entire team. Like everyone had finally bought in and they were gelling together. The offense was putting points on the board. Yes, turnovers were a problem and still are a problem. But the fact that this team went from losing 6 games in a row to just fucking not losing another was wild to me. This team, I've bought into Doug. I was upset that it wasn't Byron because the team sold us on Byron, but I'm so into Dougie Duval. Like I said, I fucking love Trevor. It was tough watching them lose some of those games, but I'm so glad that they did because now we've come full circle. And it's like the city I mean, I know that I was just there for the playoffs and stuff, but it feels like the city just feels different. Like for both of those games, we were playing with house money and like Trevor Lawrence said that even Publix felt different. And I swear to fucking God, it did. Like everything felt different. It was something that I haven't felt going home in so long. And like, that sounds like I'm not going to cry because I'm not lame. But like when Trevor said that in that article, I was like, that's like the most subtle way of saying it, but it's so fucking true because even just like walking into the grocery store felt fucking different. And like, I'm going to say this, we're putting it on record. Mike Caldwell and Trent Baalke, I like you for now. For now.
Yeah. It was funny because we didn't mention it during the last time I was on, but Trent Baalke in San Fran, right around year 4. So we're entering right around year 4 with the Jags. So for now, we like you, but let's keep it going.
For now, like your draft picks from last season? No, I fucking don't. I love.
There's video evidence.
No, there's literally a video of me crying on the table.
Clip it here. Clip here.
I'm so serious. I thought that Devin Lloyd was going to be a better player than he is. Mm-hmm. I do think that there's time to turn around. Like I said, I think outside of the quarterback position, 2 seasons is enough. Quarterbacks need 3. Next year, fine. I dislike it even more because we took Chad Muma, who seemed to have more production after we traded up to get Devin Lloyd.
Definitely.
I think anytime you draft a first pick overall and they're not considered for a Rookie of the Year award, absolute L. And I don't know, like the rest of the draft just feels, I mean, we talked about like the offensive line draft. Fine. I'm cool with that. This draft is really going, like you said, this year is going to be, do I like you or do I fucking hate you? And I think that that's going to be huge. If Caldwell can keep whatever fucking magic happened with that defense the second half of the season going next year, fine. I'm not ecstatic about it. But I can't be mad at what happened with that defense in the second half of the season. And if we can keep those guys or some of those guys together, I don't care if they're not the 2017 defense because they're not. This offense is also way better than that offense. So I'll take the trade-off. But if we can even, keep 90% of the production they had the second half of the season, I'm fucking all in. Fine. Mike Caldwell, fine.
Yeah. I'm looking around the room for something to use as a trophy, but I don't really have anything. So I'm going to gift the Jags this plant as the winner of the Sad Cat Parlay for me this season. A pluses all around. I was very happy with the season. Shout out to the city of Jacksonville and all my friends on Twitter. RIP my Twitter account that was deleted by Elon. But this was like my first season really like getting to know Jags fans and getting to go to Jags games. And I just cannot be more complimentary of their fan base and the way that they do things. Just even an absolute blast. Oh yeah, but like I said a million times in this show alone, I'm from Boston, so totally fine. Other than that, like without selfish reasons, I think the Jags, the stats speak for themselves. To go from the first round in the draft to a playoff spot is incredible. I think that's an amazing turnaround. A lot of big changes in their front office that I think are really beneficial to how they are operating, both from a coaching perspective and for those two planes to be able to communicate in an effective way is huge.
Especially in Jacksonville. Holy fuck.
Right. So I think that, that bodes well for their organization in the future. I think that the vibe is very positive, and I think that the momentum, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, is very much in their favor going into the off season. And the excitement around Trevor and his commitment to the community, hopefully for the foreseeable future, is promising. And so I think that they get an A+ from me, man. You said at the beginning of the year you wanted them to be over 500 and a playoff spot would be great, and they achieved both those things. So
I didn't even want playoffs. I just wanted over 500 and some fucking improvement, and I got way more than that. Yeah. It's so funny because last season I was like, fine, that Bills game was worth all of it, honestly. Like, that was worth all of the hurt last year, whatever. The Chargers game this year was just worth it all. Honestly, having Trevor also worth it all. Even if I wouldn't like him on another team, worth it. I don't care. Fucking mint. So that's our first grading of NFL teams 2022 seasons. RIP Sad Cats season. I think they fucking crushed it. Let us know what you think. And to some closing segments, pop culture shit. Haley, what's your pop culture?
So we have the Grammys this weekend, kicking off award season. Sick. I mean, I wasn't really following a lot of the nominees that well. Lizzo won Big for Record of the Year, super well deserved. Really love her. I think she's extremely talented, and she's gorgeous, and really is a great example for women out there. And she's just a bad bitch. She's awesome. Drama with Offset and Quavo ahead of the takeoff.
Okay, I don't what happened.
So there was obviously Takeoff, the member of Migos that was tragically killed this year. They did a tribute to him that Quavo was going to do. It was a Quavo song that he was going to perform, and Offset was trying to go on stage with him, and Quavo said, no, like, you're not coming with me, I'm doing this by myself. They get into allegedly a physical altercation backstage, fighting about it. This is all prior to the actual performance, and there's iPhone footage of this fight happening off camera, but you hear Cardi yelling like, both of y'all stupid, like swearing, like she's trying to break it up, obviously. Quavo goes to tweet after, or I believe it was Quavo who tweeted after, fighting with my brother, like, what the hell you think this is? Like, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, he's my brother. We have disagreements, things like that. But apparently it was really intense. So that was crazy. Dylan Mulvaney, I don't know if you follow her on TikTok at all. She was there at the Grammys and did a video with Laverne Cox that was super nice and really inspiring. So usually I'm not for, TikTok creators and that kind of thing being at these events, just in the sense that I think depending on who they are and what their platform is trying to achieve, it doesn't really make any sense. But seeing a creator like Dylan there, I thought that was really awesome, and much different than like, a James Charles or something being there. So to use your platform in a good way and be able to share it, I thought was really cool. And yeah, that was kind of all I thought for the Grammys. Oscar season's coming up. Tyler and I are very excited. We have our
I don't
picks.
watch any of these things.
I know. Grammys is kind of whatever to me. I like the fashion and things like that. Nobody really stood out to me. I do like the fashion. I'm just
uncultured. I don't watch movies.
Yeah. I'm big on Oscar season just for the tea and all the drama. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, I like your pop culture segment. We can talk about that because that's crazy.
I want to talk about how Beyonce is going back on tour. First of all, I loved her disco ball hat. I loved her outfit. I loved her marketing for it. But I might get a lot of hate for this just because I'm not a big Swiftie either. I do like a lot of Beyonce's old music, but I'm just not like freaking out like to get in line to buy Beyonce tickets. Like, I wouldn't, unless they were like free, I don't think I'd go. I don't care that much too. I don't know. Is that weird?
No, I think that it's the classic middle-aged dad response about going in person to the Patriots games at Gillette. If you're going to pay that much money, I want to be sitting in my heated house watching the game with incredible views from my TV.
Yeah.
So I think the thing with me with Beyonce, and I don't know if you saw her performance in Dubai. She's absolutely incredible. She's absolutely incredible. Like one of the most talented artists of our generation. I think in the last couple of years, if I were to go to a Beyonce concert now, it would be more than anything to see what she does from a visual perspective. Just like
it's
her
like when I saw
concert
Cher.
set, like I feel like she's an incredible visual artist too, beyond her musical talent. So I mean, I would be interested in that. I have it pulled up here. Guesses for 50-yard line seats. So this is the stage for reference is going to be in the middle of Gillette, or it's actually at the end of Gillette. So 50-yard line, you'd be about 1/3 of the way there. So you're
How
not
many rows
front
up?
row. So you're 4 sections up. So it's stage 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually double that, $1,200 each. If you want to sit on the floor, let's see what those are going. Actually, they are not even selling floor tickets. If you wanted to sit section 112, which if you know Gillette, that is the closest section to the stage there. Those are going for about $2,000. You can buy a row 9 for $6,240 each. So for those prices, I will not be going to see Beyonce.
Honestly, I can't even think of anyone I would pay that much money to see.
Yeah, and the thing is, and like I said, she's so cool visually. Like, I would love to see like a concert film, right? Like,
That's
if she
a Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, easily. Yeah, I think that would be really cool to have like a concert film for this tour. I would totally go see that, but for those prices, I would
go see that. Yeah, I would definitely go see like a tour video.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our pop culture segment. Tea party. I have the Aaron Rodgers like retirement conversation. Aaron Rodgers, I think it was on the Pat McAfee show this week, because that seems to be the only place he spills any tea, said that he was like contemplating doing retirement this season. And one of the ways he was going to think about his final decision was he's going to do 4 days of like darkness isolation to stimulate like DMT.
This was crazy. This was probably the craziest thing to come out this week. And I think
I kind of love him, but I also hate him.
It's really wild. Like, and the thing is, I think Aaron Rodgers can kind of get away with it because he's just kind of like weird. Like, he's kind of like the weird uncle of the NFL. Like, I never really know what he's going to do. Like,
I
next,
like that he burns.
Smoke pot in your basement, but like also if any other player did that, they'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of weird. DMT is like insane. I have never touched this stuff, but I've read about it.
Did you see Young Gravy?
Yeah, I've read a lot. Yeah, and there's like a whole conspiracy that is not, he really hasn't tripped on it, because people that have tripped on DMT, a lot of people have similar shared experiences. It's a very like cohesively shared drug experience from what I hear. Yeah. So whatever he described, people were like, people were like, that's not, yeah. I mean, from a psychological perspective, it's absolutely crazy. I've watched a ton of documentaries on Netflix about it. But I mean, Aaron, if that's what you got to do to say,
I think that's so cool. Like the fact that he does that stuff. It's just some of the things that he does are inevitably do.
Also, like, and the way you're going about it, like, just take DMT. Like, if you need to do that.
Yeah,
like,
you don't need to fucking talk about DMT, nerd.
Like, well, not even that, but like, you don't need to sit isolated in a dark room for 4 days. Like, that's crazy.
I think that what it does is it's not that I don't think he's doing I know he's done ayahuasca.
No. He's not doing it. It's activating it in his brain by sitting isolated in a dark room for 4 days. Yeah. That's crazy. Like, I
don't want to do it.
I'm saying just do it. Like, don't do that. Like,
I kind of want to try it. Is that weird?
No, I think it's a crazy, like, it's some, so allegedly also it's what your brain gives off when you die.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I did know
insane. But yeah, so that's Aaron Rodgers. Good for you. That's wild. Literally crazy.
I kind of hope he does retire.
I was also thinking, like, so then would that mean if you're in solitary confinement, are you just on DMT all the time? Like,
no, You have to be like in like pitch black.
That's crazy. I don't
Yeah.
have the wherewithal to do that. I think that's what blows my mind about it.
I think I would get really scared. I would get scared.
My tea party of the week is, I know none of our male audience is going to give a shit, but we are deep in Real Housewives season right now. We have a lot of different franchises that are wrapping up or starting.
Okay,
And
which ones are going and which ones are
Okay, great question. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Potomac is wrapping up the week after next. This upcoming week. With their reunion. They just released the reunion looks. They all look stunning. We then have Miami in mid-season also wrapping up. Crazy stuff there. Larsa this season just is like, she's not the star. There's a lot of other things that are going on, but she's something. And the thing is she, say what you want about Larsa Pippen, she's turning looks constantly. Like she always is like, I'm like, how old are you? Like you look incredible. So that's that. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is filming right now. Real Housewives of New York is filming right now. And then we have Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 3, which is coming out. So we have a lot of Real Housewives. And then last night, Vanderpump Rules came back, which is a reality TV show on Bravo. They're in the 10th season. And I was watching with Tyler and my mom, iconic. And I wanted to talk about this real quick because I haven't seen it anywhere online. Again, I'm so sorry to any of the audience that doesn't care, but this is just kind of whack. So there is this girl, Raquel, on this show, Vanderpump Rules, and she is a waitress and she is drinking at work in the scene. They're having an event as bartenders. I know that's a really popular thing. I never have and never think it's a good idea to drink while you're working at a bar. I just don't think that that's responsible. If that's what you do you, but I just was never taught to do that. So I always cringe when I see it just because I watch a lot of Bar Rescue too. And I just think that it's like really cringy. So she's sauced out of her mind and she's in the bathroom and on reality TV, you know how there's definitely a producer, like basically being like someone's in the bathroom, like go talk to them. So they send this guy, her ex, to go talk to her and so that they can get it on camera, whatever. She comes out of the bathroom and she sniffs her nose very aggressively, like does like a big inhale as she opens the door, obviously not knowing that the camera was there. And no one's talked about it. They didn't really mention it on the show, but I just thought I'd bring it up because I was watching it and me, Tyler, and my mom all looked at each other and we were like, that was a little So not saying that she was doing drugs in the bathroom, but definitely
I'm not saying that.
So that was my team. Crazy stuff going on at the restaurant.
Sounds about like the restaurant industry that I was in, but I was actually sober when I worked in the restaurant industry. So
yeah. Those WeHo bars, man, West Hollywood, they're doing some crazy stuff.
Last segment of the week, tweets of the week. Mine is not a tweet. It's just the people who have been in the Saturdays and Seltzers Instagram comments. There was one that just said woman, another one that just said women. There was another one that was like, if you've never slammed into another dude, you shouldn't be talking about football. Women will never get it. And just like, girls, blah, blah, blah. Like dozens of comments about like being anti-women speaking about sports. And I just think that it's so funny. Like, even if we're not getting like clicks or views or likes or whatever, the fact that like someone is triggered by me talking about football and I've never like strapped on a jock strap is just inevitably funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel very much that being a woman in sports is just we always like between you, me, and all of us, we all make jokes about it. There's little things and little nuances that happen no matter where you go. But basically, yeah, just a big fuck you to those people.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I feel bad for you that you feel emasculated by the fact that we can talk about sports. A lot of times guys think it's impressive that we can talk about sports. So if it makes you feel not good about yourself, I apologize, but also go fuck yourself. Going off of that, we had a comment on our TikTok this past week, that was pro Andrew Tate. And I would like to come on here and say real quick that he is a piece of shit and we do not stand human traffickers.
What did they say?
They said that we should not cancel John Mayer. If you remember in my last episode that women apparently control cancel culture, and that we are responsible for canceling Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is responsible for canceling Andrew Tate because he is a misogynist and a racist and a human trafficker. So if that's who
I
you're
wish
rooting
that, you know what? I love that women are in charge of cancel culture because we deserve to be.
Yeah, but
that makes me woke. Actually, my real favorite tweet of the week was Sarah Sivian. If you follow Sarah, if you're on Twitter, I feel like you know Sarah Siv, but she tweeted something along the lines of how Pride Night jerseys weren't. She's also a bisexual woman, like openly bisexual. Her and like my hands are starting to turn gray. This is really scary. I know a couple of bisexual women in the industry, and she is one of them. And she had a tweet about how Pride jerseys weren't required, but like military night. And then like Irish Heritage Night or whatever was like required, and she was like, fuck those leprechauns pushing their like ideals on me or whatever. And it had me fucking rolling. I thought that was so funny.
I have Irish heritage. Oh no, I died. I'm dying.
Rip. I guess that's all we got. Tyler, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I did just see the Big 12 has agreed to a buyout of Texas and Oklahoma, so they will be in the SEC in 2024. So that's my final thought.
I hate it here.
She's here.
I hate it
Hello.
here.
My laptop
Okay.
died.
I don't think
All right.
they might be able to hear you. I don't know.
Did you I can hear her. Did she hear what you just said?
The SEC, they're getting
the Big 12.
Texas and Oklahoma next year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy from a
Stop
college
trying
sports
to make
perspective.
fetch happen. All
I
right.
love it. I say keep going.
Fuck you, Tyler.